If you're using monocrop agriculture and using industrialized farming methods and you're controlling enormous swaths of land with only one crop, that is totally unnatural, doesn't exist anywhere in nature. And in order to do that, you have to poison everything else. You have to kill all the animals. You have to poison the land. You have to strip the topsoil. You have to use industrialized fertilizer. You can't grow things that way normally. That's why there's only, using these industrialized methods, there's only like 60 more crop circles that they can do, or crop cycles they can do. Like, there's only a certain amount of topsoil that's even left.
So today we got a little bit of different content for you. Don't worry, we're not like going and getting a Ferrari and taking it mudding or doing something like that. But however, I'm looking for like it could be a two-wheel drive. It'd be nice to have a four-wheel drive, but a two-wheel drive, something like that, S10 Ford Ranger style truck. Or it could be a bigger truck too. I'd take one of those as well, because I want to enter the Appanoose County's Redneck Rally at the fair time. Basically, it's like rally cross, I think, pretty much for pickup trucks. I want to do that next year, so I need to find one of those. And it actually worked last time in the video where I actually introduced the channel again. Is that, hey, welcome, I'm Ben. This is the iowANFarmer YouTube channel. Most of the time it follows me around on day-to-day things that deals with farming, but this is kind of the off season, so we're going to do a little bit of different things today. We've got a little bit of a slow start this morning because I've spent most of the morning actually shopping for dirt scrapers here. Like, look at this one here. It's like $436,000. Man, what a bargain. I ought to buy like 2 of those. Or if I should just start out with like a pan scraper. 1, 2. After listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, I learned that I've been doing it all wrong. I'm supposed to scrape off all the topsoil before I farm. You know, it's like, man, what a good little tidbit. So if I get one of those scrapers, I should be able to start growing a really good crop as long as I remove all the top infertility before I plant. Man, I really wish you would have spoken about this, you know, earlier, because of all the money that I've spent putting tile into my ground. You know, after the first year of farming, and I did a video on this where I came out there and I stood actually all the way right over there and crossed this deal after I bought this farm, and we had a torrential downpour and my topsoil moved. It's like, it made me sick to the stomach, and that day I vowed that I'd do whatever I can to take care of the piece of ground, and that's why I've spent so much money on tile and terraces like this that I use to slow down the movement of that topsoil and control the water that flows across my ground. Could have saved so much money. I could have saved so much money if I would have just said, screw it, I gotta remove the topsoil or strip the topsoil to be a successful farmer anyways. With all that satire or whatever you want to call it aside, I don't think Joe Rogan meant to be malicious, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But it just really does kind of amaze me when things like this kind of happen, because I don't know if it's that I'm in a bubble or I live in a small farming community. We're around farmers. They know what's going on with the land. Come on, you stay. I don't trust you out there. But I've always really thought, how the heck, you really want to come out, miss? Do not go in the pond, please. Come on. But I've always really thought, like, there's absolutely, you know, no way that the general population thinks this stuff about farming. I live in a small farming community. A lot of people realize what actually the farming does for the local economies, what farming does for, like, the flyover states, our economies. It's like, it's a huge part of it, provides a lot of jobs. And to say that we're going to be hurting the farm is what we make the economy off of, it's just so backwards. It's like, this is what we want to take care of. This is our biggest investment. We're not wanting to do anything to hurt it. And there's a lot of like things going on that people are trying to figure out how to even improve it, like covered crops, regenerative agriculture, things like that. People are wanting to figure this out. But this is also a business. So yes, we monocrop. You want to grow one crop, you want to do one thing well, and we got to do it to provide a lot of energy and food and fuel to the populations. And we're not, you know, we're in small town Iowa right here, but we're connected to a global economy. It's like what happens in the world affects us very directly. It's like, it's just, I really don't see how people don't see that. But again, I never wanted to be an advocate or whatever they wanted to say. And I've tried to do a couple of those things. MotherTube doesn't really like it when I put out those type of videos, and that's it's not really a big surprise there. So I just always said, hey, I can do my advocacy for farming just by doing the work and showing what young guys do. It's like, you guys have seen me fix up this farm. You've seen one of my first videos about trying to take care of the land. And it's like, right here where I'm standing is where I married my wife, overlooking a pond that's on our farm here. That's absolutely beautiful. I want to build a house right here. I want to look at this every single day. So why would we be doing something to hurt our ground? Why would we not be doing what it is we can to actually improve our ground? One of the things that you hear a ton of farmers say is how happy they are about having a multi-generation farm. A multi-generation farm. So if one of your goals is to have a multi-generation, why the heck would we want to have 60 crop years left? We want to have as many crop years left as possible. So back to Joe Rogan. I don't think Joe Rogan said those comments with a malicious content or yeah. I think content, see, this is why I'm not a radio host. I think he said those is because that's what he believed. You know, he believed that that's what somebody told him, and that's what he's thinking is happening out here. And he's right until proven otherwise, you know, innocent until proven guilty. He's right until proven otherwise. And I think Joe Rogan has an awesome podcast. He's a great interviewer, and he realistically has an open mind and tries to see the viewpoints from both sides of the fence. But the issue is what he said will reach millions and millions of people, way more than what this video will reach. And his few words will have a bigger impact than probably my entire career on YouTube. It's a little sloppy out here, a little slippery. But you know, farmland is kind of under threat. It's under threat from outside investors, such as foreign countries. It's under threat from the urban sprawl, where cities are growing bigger and bigger. Bigger, like warehouses are going up, big concrete pads are being poured. It's under threat also of government policies. It's under threat of wind and solar farms. It's under threat of the price of what the ground's going to. It's getting to the point where young guys, well, it's already at the point where young guys are having a harder and harder time, which means that probably billionaires, pro athletes, large corporations will start buying up farmland. And then that's probably going to work really, really well, you know, for corporations that just solely focus on profit. Probably really won't care too much about the health and well-being of the actual ground because they really don't have any emotional ties to it like we do as farmers. That's got to be really good. And I think those are the same people that are looking to buy carbon credits from us because we're the ones that can save the world by sequestering carbon. And basically it's like a corporation wanting to eat a cheeseburger and then hire out somebody to exercise so they don't get fat. Cheeseburger's still being ate. So needless to say, again, Joe Rogan, I think, has done some absolutely fantastic stuff. I think he's absolutely opened up the world to being able to hear open-minded reporting on policies and has the ability to bring on a lot of very influential and interesting people onto his podcast. I think he just missed the mark a little bit here on his latest comments. And on the flip side of that, I think that maybe we as farmers dropped the ball a little bit on that too, because we are such a small percentage of the population that it almost seems like, what can we do to fight the larger crowd type of thing, especially when you feel like you're not doing anything wrong. You know, what do we have to prove, if that makes sense? I know I've stated multiple times in videos and podcasts and stuff like that, that I think like that whole regenerative agriculture, chickens eating the cow poop and scratches it, and then you bring the goats in and you rotate and stuff like that, it'd be a good idea. Chicken tractors, yada, yada, yada. It's good, and it's a business model in agriculture that works. And I think the reason that works is because people will pay for that. It's like people want to pay extra money to feel like they're getting something special to make them feel better about themselves. A chicken breast is a chicken breast. It's like the beef comes from, I'll take a corn-fed beef over a grass-raised beef any day. It's like they're just looking for something to make them feel better about themselves, and people are willing to pay it, and that's what they're capitalizing on. It is, don't get me wrong, they are farmers, but they're tending to that market. That's not the market that we're tending to. We're tending to, we need to feed more people for less. And if you think people are complaining about the prices of food now, just wait until everybody switches over to chicken scratchers and oddball things like that to feed the world, and see where the price of foods goes, because my guess is, and don't quote me on this because I don't know if there's ever been a study on it, we couldn't produce enough food. We could not produce enough food to feed people. And respectfully, Joe, you're speaking from a position of privilege. I mean, you've worked really hard for what you've got. Like, there's no doubt about that. And you can afford to feed your body with whatever you determine to be the most nutritious, humanely raised, natural meats you can. But I'm pretty sure there was at some point in your life that you were really, really happy that there was that $1 McDonald's menu, because that was your chance for being able to eat something today. You know, there are people that struggle to find food, and if food prices just keep going up and up and up, what are those guys going to do? How are those people going to afford their foods? And I'll say this, and I've said it again too, is that every aspect of agriculture has its place. And every aspect of agriculture can be right, and every aspect of agriculture can be wrong. But if part of an advertisement campaign for a certain sector of agriculture is putting down another sector of agriculture, you can pretty much guarantee that the reason that they're doing that is because that they don't want to lose their market share, and they need a reason to be able to charge more money than what it's actually worth. So, a little bit of a different deal there. Not wanting to rant at you guys again. I'm just cleaning up the shop here today. She's a mess. That gal right there, I think I had a rat chew on the wire. First time I ever had rats in my shop. Oh my gosh, what a headache. But we'll get back to that here soon. More fun videos coming up. Hopefully got a couple more farm tour videos coming for you guys. 2023 growing season. Joe Rogan, if you see this video, subscribe, follow me around. Maybe you'll learn something about farming. Might be not how to do it. I don't know. Who knows? Formulate your own opinion. You're good at that. So, I think that's it. Hit the thumbs up button on the way out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.